Okay, welcome to Stepdad's Garage. This is episode number 5, and today we're reviewing my 1946 Lea Francis Special. Now, this car started off as a light 14. It started off as a saloon, as most of my cars do. I find them as wrecks or as bare chassis, and then I build the bodies for them. This particular car was imported into Victoria, Australia in 1946 by Brylaw Industries, and who were the major Jaguar and Lea Francis importer at that stage. It was then spent some time in Victoria before going to South Australia. In South Australia it went through a number of hands before in 1962 it was retired and ended up in a wrecking yard, and was subsequently rescued by, I can't remember the bloke's name at the moment, but I do have records of that, rescued for rebuilding. Well, then at state went through another few pairs of hands. Everybody was going to do something and no one did, and it was rescued by a chap from Victoria, Phil Rogers, who brought it back to Victoria and put it into storage because he had another number of other cars as well. He then subsequently sold it to another of our VSCC club members, and then he then sold to another member, and ultimately he rang me up and said, "I've got a car you should have." So we didn't exchange much money, but because at that stage it was only basically a bare chassis with old wheels on it. But I bought it and decided to build a Lea Francis Special in the vein of the Connaught a little bit, just a little bit of a nod to the Connaught. Of course it was never going to be a Connaught. And this is the result. So what I'll do now, I'll take you for a walk around the car, and we'll have a look at the different features and the different construction methods I've used for making this unique body. And for anybody who's interested, this car will be for sale soon. I've outgrown my storage capacity on my cars, so I have to start moving some. And this one being a little bit different to my other cars, I thought this would probably be the first to go. So I'll go and show you around now. Now, as I started with mentioned as the bare chassis, I was trying to work this so that it was an all steel body, but I wanted to make it from 50s steel. So I selected various panels, and with my collection of stuff I had a lot of old panels and that. So I decided to build it from panels from English cars from the 50s. So this, you may recognise, this top is actually a modified Vanguard bonnet, and we then shaped the bonnet into this particular shape, and that was the start of our design. After that we used some Mark 9 Jaguar sunroofs for the next section along the side, and this back, the bottom of the back here is actually a Mark 9 mudguard, again just shaped using the convex curbs that existed in the panels itself. And these units here, these are hand built to try and cover up the chassis end of the chassis rails, and unfortunately had this little bit of mucking around here because the body can come off now with this in place, because the fuel tank is connected into the chassis, so we couldn't get the fuel tank out without the body coming off. One of the downsides of Specials to a degree. And the sides again are made out of panels from maybe the door skins from Jaguars, boot skins, and right through to here. This bonnet panel is the only panel that we had to make new, and we had to do some English wheel work. I couldn't quite find a panel to suit this. As you can see, it's a Mark II Jaguar grille with the Lea Francis badge inside it, and I think that's a Ford Prefect emblem as well there. So the car is made up of a lot of different parts from different cars over the years, and I think the headlights were early mid-30s Triumphs, but they were common obviously to a lot of other cars. I made up a sort of a Nerf bar on the front of it just to sort of finish the nose off, because it looked a little bit lost without it. So it's very much a 1950s racer type style. And under the bonnet we have a nice little Lea Francis motor, which is the twin cam 1767cc motor, a very high performance motor for the time, and used quite widely in speedway in the 50s. And there was some suggestion this motor has been raced before it's rebuilt, and the blown up, the crack in the sump and the heavy duty oil pump lead a bit of credence to that, and it does have a higher compression capacity. We had modified a little bit by putting a spin-off filter conversion, just to make life a little bit easier for maintenance. And the Lea Francis motors were a pretty little motor, and I think we've attained and retained the interesting parts of the Lea Francis motor while maintaining a nice sleek body. Now we'll take you over the other side and show you the other side while we've got that. This is obviously the intake side, and we have the original engine plate down here, which has the body number 270 and engine number 287, I think it is. Now I did have a Conord badge there, which is not quite correct, but because I was trying to give a nod to Conord, I thought that was a nice little touch to put in there. The car's been fitted obviously with a new aluminium radiator. The motor has been rebuilt, and it runs very nicely and very smoothly. Then we'll have a look inside the car now. This car is a little bit different to a lot of my other cars. We've made this wider, so it's plenty of space in there for two larger drivers. There's plenty of room down there inside, so that there's no space like some of the other cars are very crowded. This one I wanted to make it so there's plenty of room for bigger drivers, and not rubbing arms. You don't have to have an offset. The steering wheel's original. We just polished it, and we used a bonnet emblem, one of the old bonnet emblems for the horn filler for the horn button area. Behind the dash, behind the seat, there is the spare tyre, toolbox and battery, should I say. And there's not a lot of storage in this car apart from the back here. It features, the gearbox is a 4-speed Triumph TR4 gearbox with overdrive, and there is a cut-out switch for all the electronics there, which I always find worthwhile doing for any of my cars when I put them in long storage, to be able to switch the power right off. So I think there's a few little unique spots about it, like the footsteps. One of my more creative moments, I decided I couldn't quite work out what sort of step to put on it, and I had those shapes cut out, and I thought, oh, that'll work. And the wheels are, again, a little bit different. These are 18 by 600, I think, or 18 by 550 wire wheels, Rudge Whitworth wire wheels, with 52 Rudge. They've come off a 1930s Triumph, and they've all been reworked, of course, on new tyres. Conventionally, the car is pretty standard as far as the engine, gearbox and differential. It's an ENV differential, 4.2 ratio. A leaf spring, underslung leaf spring in the back, and we did move the engine gearbox cruciform back to get this arrangement. Seems to work well, seems to be balanced, and I think the car drives well, starts well, and I find very easy to maintain as far as room. So what we might do now, we might start it up and see how it sounds. Now, it hasn't been started today, so it's, as you can see by my coat, we're in sort of just coming out of winter here in Melbourne, and so this gives you a good idea how well it starts. Not too bad to get into. Slide in. So we turn on the power, pull the choke on, and Wait for the pump to pump up a little bit. Right. Getting out's a little bit harder as you get older, of course. So my current project is a sunbeam speedster, which I'm putting a door in, just to make life a little bit easier. Windscreen, obviously just a polycarbonate windscreen, as per 50s races were built. And what we've done, I've tried to build something that's typical of 1950s race cars, and I think we've done a good job on it so far. I've got a couple of things I want to fix. The brakes aren't what they should be yet, and I did find out the other day I've put the fulcrum or the brake lever in the wrong direction. It should be about 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and I've got about 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock, which means I'm past the point of centre. Okay, I think probably that's all I need to tell you at this stage, but we might add a little bit in for my next project, just to let you know what we're working on. While we just finished this one, there's always another one running. So thank you for joining us, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and see us back in the next, which will be video number 6. Not too sure which car it will be, but we will just give you some bonus clips as well. Thank you. Okay, as I said before, welcome to Steptoe's Garage, and actually this is Steptoe's Garage, which I don't think you've actually seen before. Just going to quickly give you a quick shot of the current project, which is a 1928 Sunbeam 20.9 Special. That's actually the exhaust system, the twin fishtails, which we're working on. And here's the car itself. This is not an in-depth one, just a quick preview. It's a 20.9. It's a 3-litre Sunbeam, 1928, with a Roots blower on it. I always like to blow a Bentley, so I was trying to emulate that to a degree. And I do love building speedsters, so this is basically the biggest speedster I've ever built. Again, you can see the similar lines that I like to do in the other cars, and this one has a little bit different. I've actually put a door in this one on the other side, so hopefully access won't be as clumsy as it was on the last few shots. Thank you very much. See you in the next episode.